Good evening and welcome to Clown World Network. I'm your host, Brian Morris, coming at you live from the Clown World Network studios, literally for the third time this evening. So check this out. We're having a what we call a doomsday event day. So this was something we had planned on since we started the inception. We had to take all of the ideas of things that could go wrong with the show and kind of figure out how to play them out so we would know how to react. Having two shows with no sound, yeah, that wasn't one of them. But what happens is normally there's two people that run the show. There's me that's in front of the camera, and then there's Lauren that's behind the camera. On Friday, I got sick. I did Friday night show with a head feeling like it was like 9,000 pounds. I slept all day Saturday and most of the day Sunday. And today, Lauren said that he was down. So what we had hoped to really try to do next week with, just being in the studio by myself, I'm doing tonight. So, yeah, it wasn't planned. We hadn't had a chance to prep for it, so I apologize. For those of you who are still here watching, holy crap, thank you. I love you. There's going to be, a time when you keep looking at these stories, and now you get to actually know what the heck I'm talking about. And yes, I verified my sound this time, so I know you can hear me. We have been working very hard to put this show together. And I have a new profound respect for people who do live things like this. Again, this all started on a whim, and it wasn't even what the intention was. On Inauguration Day, I just wanted to give voice to the people who were like so dejected. There were so many people out there that really took the inauguration negatively, and I didn't want everything that had happened positive and all the momentum and all the movement and all the energy. I didn't want it to end. I didn't want the rallies to stop. I didn't want the camaraderie to go away. I didn't want the Facebook engagements to stop. I didn't want the rallies to stop. It's been such an amazing year. There's been more people politically active and have had a political voice this year on both sides of the party than we've ever seen, at least in my lifetime. And that's pretty awesome. So that's why we did this. That was the sole purpose of it. So if I screw up a little bit, here's the cool thing about me. This is my third time doing the show, and it's 10:30 at night. And if I'm still smiling and willing to go before the camera, knowing that I've looked like an idiot twice before, by gosh, I'll make it work. And that's the honest truth. We'll start off the stories tonight. As I have been working through this today, this is my first time having to work through all the stories pretty much by myself. So I was doing some research into some of Joe Biden's, we'll say, less than memorable moments for Joe. Ridiculous claims. Joe has a tendency to really embellish the truth. We'll call it out and out lying, but the realistic thing is that it's an embellishment of the truth. Just when we thought we heard it all, I found this clip from many years ago when Joe Biden was on the David Letterman show, and he confessed that he was arrested at the Senate chambers when he was 21. Now, at 21, that was pretty much 8 or 9 years before he was to walk in the chambers as a senator, as a young senator, the youngest senator. And he's such a great storyteller. I mean, if you listen to all Joe's stories and you take every one of them at face value, Joe has led the most interesting life of any man you've ever met. But let's hear it in his own words as he tells David Letterman.
When I was 21, what was that like, walking into the great Senate chamber at 29 years old?
I walked in when I was 21. And I got arrested. It was a Saturday. I was down visiting some friends at Georgetown University. And I came up on a Saturday morning because I was fascinated with the Senate. And they had a Saturday session. I walked up. Those days, no guards stopping you everywhere. And they just got out of session. I walked in the back. All of a sudden, I found myself in the chamber, and I was stunned. I walked up, sat down in the presiding officer's seat. Guy grabbed me by the shoulder, said, "You're under arrest."
So what was
he's so intense with it too. He grabbed me up, he arrested me, but Joe's not a stranger to being arrested, right? I mean, it happens to him a lot. He actually recanted a time when he was going to meet Nelson Mandela in South Africa, and he was arrested. That was his words. He was arrested. But then he would kind of back off a little bit, and he's like, well, I was just detained. I wasn't allowed to go there. So I wasn't really arrested, but I wasn't really detained. I just wasn't able to go over there. And then this one, it was like, he starts off with saying I was arrested, but then it's like, well, he grabbed me and asked me what I was doing there. Now, back in the 1970s, if you actually listen to the comments or read the comments on this story, it actually talks about how back in the 1970s, there were self-guided tours. Just for those of you who understand what a self-guided tour is, think Graceland. You grab the little microphone or the little headphones and the little thing, and as you walk through, it guides you through and tells you what things are. And there's like hundreds of people that comment that in the 1970s, they had self-guided tours, and several people ended up in the chambers. So I just have to believe that Joe really lives like inside this mind of his. And he's told so many stories over the years that he's not even sure which ones are true and which ones are false. I mean, when we listen to him talk about Corn Pop being a bad dude and kids playing on his lap and, you know, when he would rub his leg, I mean, the guy is like the epitome of a storytelling machine. The problem with him is that he's lied so much in the history of his career. He's lied about speeches that he's plagiarized. He's lied about how he graduated top of his class. He's even lied about things that he's done when he wasn't even around when that happened. So for Joe, I think that as he loses his mind, we're going to find more of these cool stories, and Joe's going to become really interesting. I'm excited for that. We will have like a 10-time clown of the day for Joe ready to go because I see him going there. But what's not in Joe's mind is Dominion voting machines. You know, every time I want to start off with something about the election or Dominion, I have to start off with Joe because it really puts in perspective the claims that have been made that maybe the election wasn't exactly 100%. Well, Dominion voting systems, for those of you who don't know, they were in control of all the ballots and the information. They've been accused of double counting, triple counting, whatever. But it's been at the heart of the controversy surrounding the entire 2020 election. Well, they've recently sued Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell, and they're suing them for defamation. Now, the funny thing is they've gone after Mike Lindell, because Mike Lindell has been a like super voice for them. Now, I want you to think about something for a minute. Mike Lindell came from a very like troubled past. He pulled himself up. He started a company, became a multimillionaire, and he put it all on the line. He's been exposed to information that he's tried to share with us. Just a couple weeks ago, he had his 2-hour video expose come out. Well, Dominion took it kind of personal, and they're suing him for $1.3 billion in defamation damages. They filed a 115-page lawsuit in Washington, citing that Lindell's media parents and social media posts are pushing what is known as the big lie about Dominion's machines, including a 2-hour film that aired on OAN and obviously was shared, retweeted, and immediately taken down by the cancel culture media of today on Twitter, Facebook, and all the other places that we would normally find information. We have to go to kind of the more obscure places about falsehoods with voting irregularities. I have a trouble with these dollar amounts. We're talking about these amazing stimulus packages that are in excess of $2 trillion. We're talking about people that are net worth of $150+ billion. We're talking about lawsuits of pretty much private individuals of $1.3 billion. Now, when I was a kid, a millionaire was somebody who was just that. They had $1 million, and we thought it was like the most amount of money ever. We talk about fathoms of money that are just ridiculous. And Dominion, so let's see where Dominion gets its money. They get government contracts. Government contracts come from taxpayers. Taxpayer dollars fund these systems to supposedly keep our elections safe, free, and honest, right? So if there's questions about the elections, why does a taxpayer-funded organization that is designed to keep our elections fair, why are they not more transparent about the information that we're requesting? Why do they throw up roadblocks and hurdles and work so hard to defame people themselves instead of just coming clean. And now, in the biggest sign of like the bully status, you go after somebody for $1.3 billion. Wouldn't that have seemed it was a lot easier if back in November they had just opened up the books and said, here, come check us out? But that's not the way it works. The thing that scares me the most, taxpayer dollars. And these taxpayer dollars are authorized by government officials who get funds from private corporations for their elections. Are you starting to see the big ball of money laundering that's occurring here? Because that's huge. So they're going after poor Mike Lindell. He's already been deplatformed. He's been removed from several stores, and now they want to sue him for $1.3 billion. But Mike, because he's such a great guy, and because he is convicted by the information that he has, and the information that he's seen, and the information that he's learned, he continues to put it all on the line. And he knows what's at stake. Now, I look at it this way. Here's a guy that has everything to lose that is throwing it all in. And there's a company that has nothing to lose that is doing their best to hold on to their position. How about that? And the fight, the bigger dog in the fight, is really trying to kick the smaller dog in the fight. And that's kind of cool, right? It's America. But it's kind of scary because we're starting to see where this is going. Donald Trump's back in the news. We love Donald Trump. He doesn't ever go away. The media just can't get away from him. The Don blasted the Supreme Court over a decision that opens the door for the Manhattan District Attorney to obtain his tax returns and other financial records. You know, Donald's been out of office for almost 5 weeks, and he's been in the news nearly every single day because the news is fascinated by him. They don't have anything for Joe Biden and Kamala. They're not allowed to say anything disparaging, and you can only plant roses and look at rainbows and unicorns for so many days in a row. They need a villain, and the villain is Donald Trump. And even though Donald Trump's out of office, they are so scared of his voice, they are so scared of what he accomplished in his short amount of time, they are so scared that he's going to be able to continue to like bring people together. Let's look at it. Never in my lifetime have I ever attended so many rallies as I attended for this president. Never in my lifetime have I seen 4 months after the election, yard signs and flags still flying. Never in my life have I seen rallies for presidents that didn't get elected, which we're having, right? This is like what scares the media, is it's an enigma. It's something totally out of the norm. When you lose, you're supposed to shake your head and go away, right? You're supposed to go away quietly. Just go away. Not Donald Trump. He fought till the very end. He fought everything to the very end. He cried foul, and now they are doing their best to destroy him. False impeachments he's been acquitted on. They're coming after him. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, even though he may not have pardoned himself and his family, I think he has what's called a pocket veto, which basically he wrote, not veto, pocket pardon, which basically would allow him to have pre-pardoned him, his family, maybe Rudy Giuliani, but he just didn't get it out there to the public. But his buddy Michael Cohen, man, he was quick today. Following the tax return news, disgraced Trump attorney Michael Cohen joined multiple news outlets, because that's what he does. He is like the ultimate Trump professional now. He knows more about Trump than anybody else, and he's always on the news. He's on house arrest, and they're giving him Zoom calls and credibility. And if you do a search for Michael Cohen today, Michael Cohen tax returns, you'll see all these news articles. Everybody was interviewing Michael. In one interview, he stated that Trump should look into getting himself a custom-made jumpsuit because it did not look good for him. Well, the cool thing about Michael Cohen is he recognizes the fact that Donald Trump's not a normal human being. Normal human beings don't get custom-made jumpsuits. We get whatever they give us. But somebody like Donald Trump, yeah, he would get a custom-made jumpsuit. Well, let's let Michael tell it.
It's one thing I can turn around and tell you. He should start maybe speaking to somebody about getting a custom-made jumpsuit because it does not look good for him. That's my prediction.
In recent weeks, Michael Cohen has been using this newfound fame to really become notable. Prior to the inauguration, he was the one that they went to and said, what do you think is going to happen? How is Trump going to go out? A couple weeks ago, he and Stormy Daniels had this reconciliation tour. Now, for those of you who don't remember, Stormy Daniels was the porn star that basically was paid $150,000 and signed a non-disclosure agreement, violated the non-disclosure agreement to propel herself to fame, was sued by Trump and lost $300,000, was taken by her attorney for another $300,000 in mismanaged money, and then blames everything on Trump. Okay. So Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels came together and he apologized to her for being part of the problem, part of the reason why she's in the situation that she's in. And now they're part of a brotherhood of sorts of people who have had their lives changed by Trump. And I really hear the tiny violins playing. But Michael Cohen has a serious axe to grind with Donald Trump. I mean, he's like not just grinding it, he's sharpening it to the point where it'll just take his head right off. So Michael, while you may not need a custom-made jumpsuit, we've got something better for you today, a custom-fitted clown suit. Because Michael, buddy, you are the clown of the day. Well, that just about wraps it up for our third show this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've watched it all 3 times, maybe you could offer a little critique on my appearance, movements, whatever. But honestly, we continue to ask you to like, share, follow, subscribe, and comment because the comments do help the algorithms. And of course, you need to share with other like-minded people that might find the show interesting. Our goal isn't to lean too far one way or the other. It's to be informative and have some fun. There's enough negativity in your life, Monday through Friday, and then especially on Saturdays and Sundays with everything that's going on in the world, that I didn't want to be just another outlet for you to tell you conspiracy theories or give you false hopes or anything else. I just want to be real, right? I got tired of it. I got caught up in it, and it just about ruined me, literally, because you're always waiting for the next thing, until you start realizing that the goalposts kept moving. On that note, we thank you for your continued support. We thank you for joining us here every night. We thank you for your comments because I've gotten a lot of phone calls, text messages, private messages. I'm doing my best to answer them all, but I am very appreciative of all the stories that you share, of the information that you give us. We glean through it to try to find some interesting things for you every night. Our new format on Mondays will be Make America Great Again Mondays. I'm so excited about this, I almost forgot. This is the 3rd show. So Make America Great Again Mondays. We are working with stringers or independent film guys all around the United States. We've been building our network. The idea is we've done some really awesome features on the Patriot Store, on Ammo AZ. We've done some really awesome features on these businesses. We want to feature businesses all around the country because we are a community. We're all races, colors, creeds. We come from all states, cities, economic backgrounds. We come from everywhere. The idea is that we want to devote every Monday, instead of doing the clown of the day, to doing a Make America Great Again Monday, talking about the positive things that are going on in the world, focusing on 1 or 2 businesses around the country to actually make America great. Small business is the heart of America. I'm a small business owner. Most of my friends are small business owners. We are the ones who employ even more than the big businesses. And we are at risk every day of going out of business because of governmental controls, taxation, and big businesses wanting to push us out. We need to support our small businesses. We need to support the people that make this country and the communities better. So that'll be our Make America Great Again Mondays. That's going to be our MAGA movement and what we're doing to continue the MAGA movement beyond Donald Trump. It doesn't start and end with Donald Trump. It starts and ends with us. On that note, thank you for joining me. Be good to each other. Know that I love you, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks again for joining us 1, 2, or 3 times this evening.